New World, somebody says lacks content. I don't think that you're like wrong, but I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. And hear me out. When you play New World, you enter an area, right? And now you're inside of this area, and there are like a lot of hints of storytelling, and there's an overall vibe, which is good. That is good storytelling, right? Like, you look at a stone and you're like, wow, is there a fight here? The world's built up by the animals and all this stuff, and you're like, wow, this is an interesting place to be in. But there's no lore to be there. The detail is there, but there's no actual strong lore to back it up. Yo, None, thank you for the Prime. And obviously that's lore, but that's an important thing that builds the world out. And I feel like all of the aspects of the game are like that. It's like the detail is there. The one detail that would make the game feel polished is there, but the actual meat and potatoes, the core content that needs to be there is what's missing. Like, there's environmental storytelling that should be backing up real storytelling, but then the new storytelling isn't there. So it's like a bunch of details. Thank you for 2 months. There are a lot of details, but there's no substance. There's no structure that makes you want to grind stuff. It has like a really cool progression system for leveling like professions, and it's like a really good skilling game, but they didn't go all in on it. They said that there were going to be massive changes from this beta to the other one. I don't know if there were because I didn't play, but when I watched, I didn't feel like there were. It's like RuneScape. Well, RuneScape has a soul and it has substance. RuneScape knows what game it is. New World doesn't know what game it is, and it's listening to too many communities who are crying, looking for a game that New World shouldn't be. New World should be a game that's closer to old school RuneScape, but you have a bunch of WoW refugees crying for the game that they want. And when you listen to that large audience, you end up making a game that is more neutral and tries to attract a bunch of people who don't want to play New World. They're just people who are looking for a game to play. And you know what? They're going to try it, and it's going to be a neutral experience, and they're going to leave. If New World became the game that it needed to be, there would be a lot of people who would hate it, but there would also be people who would love it. And if they keep going down the development path that I think that they're going to go down, which is the only one that they're going to be able to go down in the next 2 months, they're going to make a relatively neutral experience that nobody's going to hate, nobody's going to love. Everybody's just going to be like, meh. They're going to play through the content as quick as they can, and then they're going to peepo poof. And that is AAA game design right now, in my opinion. I also think that this studio is probably under a lot of pressure because they're probably coming out with other games soon, so they can't take the time that they need right now. But I'd rather hear it from the devs because that's me guessing. Yo, Central, thank you for the Prime. Even endgame content in Final Fantasy will turn off many WoW players because they won't be used to taking a break after clears. Games gotta stop comparing themselves to other games, and AAA need to stop just getting the most players. And that's the problem with AAA. That's why AAA will eventually fail and indie will be the way. You don't need AAA anymore. You don't need distribution the way that you used to. Back in the day, AAA needed to exist. When I played video games, you were entering hex codes and floppies and all this crazy shit. The amount of hurdles that you would go through to get a game were wild. And those experiences, to make them, was difficult. Yo, Yumi, thank you very much for the Prime. So they had to make the experiences, but then those experiences need to be published, they needed to be distributed. AAA was important. And publishers were important. Like Activision. Activision was important. Snack, thank you very much for the Prime. Thank you. Thank you for 5 months. And that shit was still expensive, and it was a business. Yo, Beer Brawl, thank you for the Prime. If you were sitting there printing stuff making hard physical copies, shipping them all out over the world. You needed to make an experience that everybody wanted to play. Physical distribution required capital. Yes, Armani. Yes, Armani. It's 100% true. It required a lot of capital. Creating the games required a lot of capital. Now, an 8-year-old in their bedroom can download Unity. And if they have a vision, they can make a game. And people will find it and people will come. You can put that game on Steam for free. Steam takes a percentage later. The game gets distributed. You can distribute the game online for free. Right now, what you need is vision. And you know what? You don't need to make as much money because you don't need to grease as many palms. You don't need to pay as many people. You have to pay $100 to Steam Greenlight now? Okay, obviously that's not free. But consider that to the cost of speccing out how many copies your game's going to sell, physically printing that out, distributing it globally, paying for shipping, paying the taxes, paying customs, getting licensing that you needed to make sure that it was a safe experience, needing to go through all of the different consoles that you wanted to have it on to make sure that it was a safe game which fit their regulations since the Nintendo certification of quality. Think about all the people that needed to do those jobs that you needed to pay. Think about the marketing that you needed to pay for. Now, people like me will market good games for free on the internet. Remember when shareware was the thing? Yes. Right now, if I made a game right now, I could distribute it for essentially free. And that's crazy. That's crazy. So when you look at AAA and the pressures that they're under, they still operate in the old world. They're still thinking about physical copies. They're still thinking about box copies. When they're bundling digital, they're bundling all these things. And you have companies that have thousands of people. They have thousands of people that they need to pay. They do need to make more money. Yes, their CEOs are making multi-million-dollar deals, but they still do need to make more money. They have shareholders that they need to worry about. Vision can't come first. That's the reality. They need to cast a wide net. Look, when Picasso first came out, a lot of people didn't like Picasso. A lot of people still don't like Picasso today. People didn't understand Picasso because it was new and it had vision. It was genius. And you know what? Over time, more and more people got it because it was made with that vision in mind. A lot of video games are like that. Picasso was only good after patch 2.0. Yeah, true. The new wave for games is going to be indie. Look at Valheim. Look at Valheim. Is Allcraft today or tomorrow? It'll be tomorrow. Hades? Yep. And now there are a lot of people who aren't going to like Valheim. There are a lot of people who aren't going to like Hades. But you know what? The people who do like it, they love that game. Fall Guys, yeah, good, another good example. Undertale. These are great experiences that people are going to remember. I do think that New World has a lot of potential. I do not think that this month is enough time. I hope that they consider taking an even longer break. As far as the Twitch world of promotion is concerned, which is hundreds of millions of dollars worth of promotion that game studios do not pay that much for, it is a crazy amount of return on investment that you don't even need to pay for with half the content creators that are hoping to catch a wave and hoping to blow up and hoping to make money through a different revenue stream.
Loving the ride so far, Rich.
Yo, thank you. Thank you, Twister. Thank you for 2 months. They will be fine to push this game back even more. Because there's no hype for the game on Twitch right now. There's actually anti-hype on Twitch because it just happened and people were overexposed to it. It had drops. I think having drops for the first week of your game, not doing it is stupid. But they should take more time because this game has potential, and it would fill a nice little niche if they double down on the things that are special about the game. It would have a nice niche that could be played alongside games like Final Fantasy and things like that, and create like a more complete ecosystem for a lot of people. Lost Ark, I think Lost Ark is probably one of the games that's maybe creating pressure to get this one out, right?